Welcome. So, our question for today is: can HR fire you without warning? Let's say one day you're working and boom, the next day you're fired. Can they really do that? Well, they can and they can't. This depends on what your contract says or the gravity of what the offense is. First of all, when you're onboarded, you are given an employee contract. Am I correct? Yes. So, when you are signing the employee contract, please take a moment to really read, because what I've come to realize is we hardly read. We don't read. It's just a culture, it's just a norm. We just click agree, 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 or sign yes, I accept the offer, which is bad because there are some things that are within our rights that are actually in the contract, but because we don't know, we tend to be oblivious of such things and it affects us in time to come. So, in the case of firing you, in some contracts that I've drafted, some are 2 weeks, some are a month notice, some are even at will. But this depends on the industry, the company, the region. Because for our US clients, these ones they are at will. Most of them they do at will. When I mean at will, means if I come as the HR tell you you're fired, then you're gone. Bye, Felicia. But in most cases, especially in Nigeria, it doesn't work that way. So you have to give like 2 weeks notice, 6 weeks, a month notice, or 6 weeks notice. Depends on what is on your contract. So I will always advise you go back to your employee contract to check what your contract says, either for termination clause, for payment clause, whatever it is. Make sure that you get an employee contract when you are boarding and also when you are off boarding, so that there will not be any mistakes. Here's another question: is HR on the employee side? This is a very tricky question. So the person says, do you think the HR is really there to protect the employees or the company? So I'm going to spill the hard truth. HR is actually for the company to manage the employees. It's called human resource management. So HR is not your therapist though. They are not your therapist, but they can help if possible. You're also there to make sure that the company does not file, it's not getting filed for lawsuits or wrong documentation and all that tax, everything. You understand? So the fact that HR comes off hard to an employee does not mean that they hate them. No, it's actually working together for the good of the company. So if you're in the wrong, HR will not back you up. But if you're in the right, HR will come in, documentations are correct, everything is set. Then they will put it up to the management and say, oh, this employee is right on this level, on this level, on this level. And it's been backed up by the labor law. So once again, HR, they're not your friends. They're not your therapists. They're employees like you. They're like, let me say, the lawyers of the company and the policy makers of the company. So they're the ones that marry the employers and the employees together to make sure there's a cordial relationship. You understand? If you don't understand, meet me at the comment section. Okay, I have another question. It says, should you tell your HR about a toxic boss? That's a tough one. If your manager is toxic, should you report them to the HR or it will just backfire? You know what? Let's break it down. I would say yes, you should report them. And I will also say no. Reason being that if for me to say yes, you should have solid evidence, because you can't just come up with an accusation. You should have serious evidence, And if it's a case of misconduct, maybe harassment in any form, yes, you should report it. Also, if you have other employees, maybe let's say you have witnesses to back you up, there's strength in number. So that's when I'll say yes, you can report. Okay, when I'll say no is if it's a bad personality issue, the HR might not care. Or if the HR is the boss's best friend. Trust me, workplace politics can be really dangerous. And you have to tread carefully so you don't get caught up in any of their mess. How do you move on from here? Let's say you have something that you need to report to the HR. Check the caption and you're going to get your best move. Thank you. Another question. It says, quitting your job, do you really need to give a 2 weeks notice or can you just ghost them? If you remember in one of the questions I answered earlier, I mentioned contract. Yes, if your contract stays 2 weeks, then you have to give 2 weeks notice. If it says 4 weeks or 6 weeks, you have to give the exact notice that it says. The only reason why you might not be able to give this notice is, let's say it's a toxic environment and you have to run away for your mental health sake. Yes. Or maybe you weren't even really attached to the company that much, or your contract says at will. Those are the only 3 reasons where you don't have to give any notice and you can leave almost immediately. I hope I'm able to answer your question. But if you have more concerns, kindly drop it in the comment section. Okay, this is a funny one and I've seen it happen though. And it says, does your HR check your social media? Let's say you go and apply for a job and the HR is secretly stalking your social media. Well, I've seen some clients do this. They ask for your social media handle. They want to know the kind of person that you are, what you're up to when you're not in the workspace, what you believe in. You want to see if their culture aligns with whatever it is that you believe in. So they believe the social media is a space where people put out their mind and whatever it is they're thinking. So they put it out there. So the best way to actually gauge someone or a candidate, the HR feels okay, is to go through their socials. So actually, some HR they secretly do that. They might not let you know, but they can check your LinkedIn, they can check your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, anything. They can check it. So I'm not saying go be a hypocrite, but try as much as possible to be cautious when you're putting anything out there in the social space because anyone could be watching. I've seen tweets that has cost people their visas and jobs, what have you. So it's not just in the workspace. Let's be mindful of what we put out there and what we are feeding the public with. So tell me, have you ever had any of this experience? Just let me know in the comment section, then I'll share with everyone. Thank you. Thank you for sending in your questions. I would like you to send more and share with us so we can also read them out and get other people's feedback. So if you need anything, please kindly send us a DM or you can leave a comment. Don't forget to share, follow, like, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And we'll keep feeding you with useful information to make sure you grow in your career and in everything that has to do with the corporate world. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. Do have a nice day.